As they rounded off the bend, a white car pulled over and a handsome young man came out of it. Anita went over to him and hugged him. Bella was perplexed, but Anita simply winked and signaled to her to get into the car. "Bella, meet Emmanuel. He's a nice guy and he's safe too," Anita told Bella. Community Secondary School Azwohia in Oboro local government area of Enugu State never had it good. The school began to have an inflow of students from within and outside the community. Sylvester Okeke and his wife Chioma, who only just become residents of the community, decided to enroll their children in any good secondary school close to the community. While they were still trying to decide whether to send their children Anita and Nancy to a private secondary school or one owned by the government, there came a breaking news on television.
Silent scan.
The Commissioner for Education, Professor Azuka Ifani, had promised to refurbish all government secondary schools within the state. Pictures of already refurbished schools and ongoing projects to that effect were reviewed. Mr. and Mrs. Okeke immediately decided to enroll their children in community secondary school, Azwohia. The very next morning, Sylvester Okeke drove his children to the school for their enrollment. Anita would be in Senior Secondary School 3, known as SS3, and Nancy would be in Senior Secondary School 1, known as SS1. They would enjoy all the commissioner had promised and learn in a super-friendly environment for just a few naira. Anita never liked public schools. She felt they were meant for the middle class and the lower class. Her family belonged to the upper class, and enrolling her in a public school, no matter how good it, would certainly diminish their status. Children in public schools were ill-behaved and were to be avoided by well-behaved children like her. She wondered why her parents chose public schools, knowing fully well that she was happy at the private school she was before. Nancy was, however, determined to enjoy her new school since her parents considered it appropriate. She was determined to make her parents and teachers proud. Anita Okeke was a spoilt child. Not only was she arrogant, she considered maintaining a glamorous appearance far more important than educational pursuit. As she walked into her new classroom, virtually everyone looked at her and admired her beauty. After school hours, 2 of her classmates walked up to her and introduced themselves to her. "I am Bella Michael." "I am James." Anita responded with a warm smile and left hurriedly. Bella and James picked up their bags and walked home together, chatting and laughing. They, however, had to walk along separate routes shortly afterwards to get to their respective homes. As Bella got home, her mother welcomed her by ranting at her as usual. She called Bella names and insisted she was good for nothing and would amount to nothing. Bella wondered what she had done this time to her mom to deserve this. As she went into her room to change from her school uniform, she heard her mother sobbing. She wondered when the old woman, her mother, would come out of her grief and face reality. She decided to go and try to encourage her. Mrs. Olama turned to her daughter and began lamenting. "How do you think we can survive in this family without your father? He left me with 5 of you to take care of all by myself. But it seems you want to disappoint my hope in you. You come back from school late every day, you get poor grades in your schoolwork. How can you fulfill my dreams of you becoming a medical doctor with these poor grades? Sometimes I wonder if I am the one that gave birth to you." On hearing her mother's utterances, Bella started to cry. Her mother ignored her and walked away with the air of someone who had achieved a purpose. The following morning, Bella could hardly concentrate on her lessons as she wondered how to overcome her problems. At break time, James and Miracle walked up to her upon noticing her gloomy countenance. "What's wrong this time, Bella?" Miracle was concerned. "I wonder if you got anything from the maths lesson. I felt your mind was elsewhere," James added. Bella told them she was worried about their upcoming exams and how she was going to pass. Her grades were poor. Being a science student was not her choice, but she had to please her mother, who wanted her to become a medical doctor. The situation had become burdensome. Must people keep facing challenges and grappling with various problems? Can't we just live our lives and be happy? Miracle cried out in exasperation. While the three friends thought of how to overcome life's challenges, Anita walked up to them, calling their names in a way that depicted her as the happiest mortal in the environment. They all turned in her direction. "Hey, what's the matter? Is the world coming to an end? Look, you shouldn't be this serious. Youngsters like us should live our lives to the fullest." "Yeah." They wondered what she meant. "After school, come hang out with me," Anita ordered them. Miracle and James felt Anita was rude and her invitation was strange, but Bella felt the idea was worth considering. Classes resumed after break. After school, Miracle headed to her mother's stall at the market, dragging James along. He accompanied her to the market and then went home. Miracle was the only child of her parents. Her mother had a stall in the market where she sold ojari. She also sold zobo drink, which Miracle prepared. Upon getting to the market, Miracle greeted her mother, changed into her work clothes and fastened her money belt around herself. She wrapped her school bag with a cellophane sheet and placed it in a corner. After which she began to attend to buyers. "Miracle, I have sold all the zobo," Rofina informed her daughter. "You will have to prepare more for tomorrow. We need much more than what you prepared yesterday. We are in the dry season and people become thirsty more often." Miracle was happy, but she knew it was hard work, as she would need to stay awake for the better part of the night preparing the drink and bottling it. She also had to read her notes and get her homework ready. As the evening approached, she decided to go home to prepare supper for the family. On her way home, she met Chief Okaka, the landlord. Miracle greeted him and made to continue her journey. "My daughter, how are you? Is your father at home?" Miracle told him she had not been at home to know if her father was in or not. Chief Okaka sighed deeply. As Miracle walked home, she wondered what her father did with the proceeds from his palm wine trade. He was not fending for the family. Her mother provided money for such things as food and clothing. She took care of the family from the income she earned from her petty trade. Miracle paid her own school fees from the money she earned from making zobo. She hurried home and began to prepare supper. Mr. Chigezi Okafor, Miracle's father, walked into the compound, being tired. "Welcome, Papa," Miracle greeted. "Miracle. The only covering cloth I have, how are you?" "I'm fine, Papa." Miracle told her father that the landlord asked after him. He sighed, lifted his face and stared at the sky as though he expected money to drop from heaven. "Papa. Papa," Miracle called out to him, "what is the matter?" "My daughter, has your mom returned?" "No." Realizing that her father was not going to answer her question, she went into the house. Miracle's house was not a beautiful one. Her parents were poor and so had no money to equip the place with modern appliances. Besides, it was lacking in decors. A television set and a radio placed on a table provided the family information and some form of entertainment. The house and its environment were kept immaculate. Miracle's parents, Chigezi Okafor and his wife Rofina, would insist that cleanliness is next to godliness. Miracle believed this because her parents told her it was so. However, Miracle's home was beautiful. Family members loved one another. Miracle was intelligent, hardworking, and humble. Her parents only worried about her education and her upcoming West African school certificate examinations. Miracle did not sleep much. She spent the night studying or preparing zobo to be sold at the market. Visiting friends, attending parties, spending time on social platforms and watching movies were not part of her hobbies. Viewing foreign television programs was unthinkable as her parents could not afford subscription. Miracle woke up very early the following morning to bottle her zobo, after which she took her mother's goods to the market before going to school. As she walked briskly to school to avoid being late, a car pulled over. Anita looked out the window and called her to join them to school. Miracle hurried into the car, happy and relieved. She greeted Mr. Okeke and smiled at her friends. She decided to enjoy the ride while it lasted. "Why are you walking to school?" Nancy wanted to know. "I walk to and come back from school walking with my legs every day, I'm used to it," Miracle replied her. Sylvester Okeke and his two daughters could not conceal their shock. Mr. Okeke felt such a situation must have been due to a certain problem he would not probe as he would not want to bring back sad memories to the young girl. He planned to find out some details from Miracle at an appropriate time. James was the first to get to school amongst the four friends. He wore a sad countenance during the lessons in class. Even though he was an intelligent boy, he suddenly started having poor grades. During break time, his mathematics teacher sent for him. James hurried to Mr. Paul. "Good day, sir." Mr. Paul took his eyes off the book he was reading. "Oh, my boy, sit down here," he said, pointing to the visitor's chair. "How are you doing today, James?" "I am fine, sir." "So what is the matter?" His teacher looked into his eyes. "What's wrong?" "Suddenly, you are not concentrating in class anymore. Your grades have dropped." James shifted in his seat, looked at the floor and settled his gaze on the pile of books on Mr. Tochi's desk. "Speak to me, my boy, I'm here to assist you." James confessed that he was worried about his parents, that they hardly stayed at home let alone have time for him and for his younger brother Raymond. Mr. Tochi asked him what his parents do for a living and James told him that they were bankers. Mr. Tochi advised him to pay more attention to his studies. He explained that they would be proud of him if excelled. "I am sure they are working hard so they can have enough money to send you to a good higher institution. You must concentrate on your work." James returned to his class, relieved and happy. During lessons, Bella drifted away in thought. She was not aware that her English teacher was calling her to answer a question. "What a disappointment you are, Bella, you don't pay attention in class. How do you expect to get good grades? Do you think you can be a medical doctor in future if you don't hard and pay attention in class?" Bella bowed her head and apologized for her absent-mindedness. After school that day, Anita called her three friends and started to laugh at them. Bella, Miracle and James were upset and wondered why she was laughing. In anger, Miracle walked away, followed by James. Bella waited to find out why she was laughing at them. Anita ignored Bella and kept laughing. Bella left her angrily and hurried home. That evening, while Miracle's parents were eating their supper, they heard a knock on the door. As Miracle made her way to the door, her father fled into his bedroom, abandoning his food. Chief Okaka, the landlord, did not wait to be invited into the house before walking in. "Where is your husband? Don't tell me he has gone out," he roared at Rofina, Miracle's mother, like an angry lion. Rofina could not utter a word because she was perplexed at the way her husband fled into the room. Chief Okaka threatened to return the following week to send them out of the apartment and went away angrily. Miracle's father, on noticing that Chief Okaka had left, came out and continued his meal. They finished their supper in silence. Miracle bade her parents good night and went to her room to do her assignment. While she was writing her homework, she overheard her parents discussing Chief Okaka's visit and his threat. Her father explained that he could not tap palm wine because of some sharp pains he had on his waist. He said he had spent what he saved up as rent on medicine. Even though his wife was relieved he was getting better, she wondered how they would raise enough money to pay Chief Okaka before he carried out his threat. While Miracle's mother was still thinking about it, Miracle walked in and offered to help out with the little money she had realized from her Zobo business. Her parents objected to that, but realizing that there was no other means of getting the money and borrowing was not an option, they decided to accept their daughter's offer. The following day, upon her return from the market, Rufina called out to her daughter, "Miracle! Miracle! Mama! I'm stirring so up, I'll be with you shortly." Miracle hurried in a few minutes later, sweating from the heat from the firewood. "Mama, I'm here." "Sit down, my daughter. I called you so you can explain how you intend to help out with the house rent and also pay your school fees." "Mama, I thought we had concluded this matter. I told you I will use the proceeds from the Zobo. As for my school fees, I have faith in God that I won't be sent out of school before the end of 2 weeks so I can get enough money to pay my fees." "My daughter, you are a godsend to this family, and it's coming through you. How many of your mates will do what you are doing? You are sacrificing your happiness for the family that is supposed to be taking care of you. God will bless you, Miracle. May God raise people that will help you in life. You will never be stranded. Amen," shouted Miracle. She went into her room immediately, took out the money and gave it to her mother. As Miracle got to school the next day, she wondered why Mr. Godwin, the principal, decided to personally visit SS3 classes. Is he coming to send us home for not paying school fees or what? She wondered. Before break period, Mr. Godwin walked into her class. "Good morning, Mr. Godwin." They all stood up to greet him in a chorus. He asked them to sit down and listen carefully to what he was about to say. "As you all know, the terms examinations are around the corner. I expect you all to work hard. Tell your parents to endeavor to pay your fees before the end of next week. But most importantly, you should study well for your senior school certificate exams, which will be coming up before the end of next term. To many of you, it may still be a very long time, but I tell you, if you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail. Make hay while the sun still shines." That will be all for today. Thank you, sir. May God bless you. The class chorused as he left. Miracle got lost in thought. Bella noticed her moodiness and decided to wait until classes were over for the day before asking what the matter was. Meanwhile, the three friends noticed Anita was not in school that day. Bella asked Miracle what the problem was. As they walked home, but Miracle insisted she was fine. James did not want to pay attention to what they were saying. While they were still walking home, they heard a voice from behind calling out to Bella. All three of them immediately turned, only to see Anita in her school uniform running towards them. She caught up with them, panting. "It's obvious you have run for a long time, that is why you are panting so much," Miracle observed. "Where are you coming from?" James wanted to know. Anita would not utter a word about her unusual behavior and instead told them to mind their business. Miracle, James, and Bella walked away in annoyance, leaving her behind. Thinking better of her actions, Anita ran after them to apologize. She told them she was absent from school because she went to visit a friend of hers who was ill. Miracle told her she was lying. "Why do you think I'm lying?" Anita asked Miracle. "Nancy, your younger sister, came to my class during break after the principal had left and asked after you. So how come even your sister doesn't know your whereabouts too? If I catch that small rat," Anita said under her breath. "And who is the small rat?" James asked. "Mind your business and stay out of my matter," Anita retorted. No one said anything until they all parted. Sylvester Okeke was not back from work yet because he had left town for an official assignment, but Chioma, his wife, was already at home and angrily waiting for Anita to walk into the house. While she was still waiting, Anita walked in. "Good afternoon, Mom." "Where do you think you are coming from, Anita?" "Mom, I am coming from school." Chioma could not imagine why her daughter could look straight into her eyes and lie. She was shocked, she couldn't believe her ears. "Which of your friends knows you were in school?" she asked Anita. Before Anita could answer, Nancy responded, "Mom, none of them saw her today. I even asked Miracle, her classmate, the one we picked up early one morning on our way to school." Chioma told Anita never to behave that way again. However, Anita's mother failed to ask her daughter where she went. When Sylvester Okeke returned from working the evening, Nancy tried to report the issue to him. Anita threatened to beat her up the next day after school, so she kept quiet, more so as even their mother did not say anything about it to their father. Days passed and Anita continued truanting. On this particular day, she decided to appear in the school just before home time. Miracle tried to talk her out of her behavior, but she threatened to persuade her father not to pick her up whenever they saw her walking to school. However, one day Nancy could not bear it anymore, so she told her father that Anita was habitually absent from school. Her father reported the matter to the principal. Mr. Godwin, being an experienced school principal, knew what to do. He called Anita out at the assembly ground the following morning and related her crime to the entire school. Anita was made to sweep the classrooms belonging to JS1 students at break time for 1 week, after which she had to clean the girls' toilet at break time for another week. If peradventure she did not complete the task at break time, she will continue at home time. To convince the school that she had repented, she had to write an apology which she personally placed on the notice board of every classroom. Anita pretended to turn over a new leaf. The truth was that she only changed her method. She made sure she was always in class and she did her assignment so that no one would suspect her of wrongdoing. Her 3 friends, James, Bella, and Miracle, congratulated her on account of the change and encouraged her to continue the good work. One day on their way home from school, Anita asked Bella to accompany her to her aunt's shop. So bidding Miracle and James farewell, the 2 girls went in a different direction. As they rounded off the bend, a white car pulled over and a handsome young man came out of it. Anita went over to him and hugged him. Bella was perplexed, but Anita simply winked and signaled to her to get into the car. "Bella, meet Emmanuel. He's a nice guy and he's safe too," Anita told Bella. "There's nothing to worry about," she assured her friend. So guys, if you want to know the fate of Anita and Bella, kindly subscribe to my channel and also don't forget to turn on the notification bell to my channel for you to know when I will upload the part 2 of this story, cause I will upload it in my next video.